Hii song manze, hiyo time nilikuwa in love mbaya manze, nilikuwa kafala manze. Um,
Okay.
and the main thing about the song, so the main theme of the song was just being in a situation where you're in love mpaka like unajua manze vile commitment, mi sijai get married but na imagine wasa wame get married, kugo down on a knee na kuambia demu nataka kumwoa ni the ultimate commitment. So like umeifikiria I'm just thinking as a man, yeah, you've thought about this thing once, twice, thrice, so many times, decide walai ni huyu, is this the person I'm gonna do life with, yeah. And so Mario Twice as a concept was just like, I'm so sure about you, about being with you. I'm not just doing, it's not just the first time. I'm not willing to go down on my knee once. I would go down on my knees once, not marambili. And then in terms of just storyline, what we did with the video, it was just to show the different love situations, a toxic relationship, and then a proper real love situation. I think the band is the thing that made me realize like I can't be a musician. Like I have the talent to be able to go through with it, because we put out a song. I remember in 2017, times are tough. I don't lie to you guys. I remember it was tough for a while. Like tulikuwa tumedu muziki for about 3 years. Manze hakuna kitu ina happen. Yani views ziko YouTube ni ya baba yangu, mamangu, baba ya my bandmates, mama zao and our brothers. Tuko na kaa 40 views. Ngoma imekaa 2 years iko na 100 views. Nasema hii kitu kuna place inaenda. Sasa niko law school, mama kwa tu zile za kai. So achana na hii kitu ya kunaimba tu, hakuna kitu nakusaidia. Wanna get and then in 2017 we put out a song, we put out number 1, and that song just blew up. Like, you know, it just absolutely blew up. And even now looking back, that's the song that made me believe like, yeah, I'm cut out for this, you know. Like it made me, because I was almost at a breaking point. As zile za stuff is for work manze, in the last time na try na ndamwa tu kwenda na law degree yangu nimalizane na niachane na muziki. Nimejaribu, you know, it was gonna be those things where you say, you know, I tried it refused, it's not for me, bye. But number 1 happened and it validated everything we had been doing, and I've been on this path ever since.
This hour, I will be talking to Kenyan Afropop artist Charisma about his recently launched album, The Motions. He will then talk about his experiences during the recent Gen Z Mandamanos, and we'll also candidly ask him if it's fair to expect artists to use their platforms to drive political and civic change. Now, please drop a comment below and tell us where you're tuned in from, whether you're tuned in from Texas, whether you're tuned in from DC, whether you're tuned in from Nairobi, Kenya. Please tell us where you're tuned in from, and make sure you buy his music. The link is pinned in the comment section. We're going to be pinning it also on YouTube. That one link has everything, all the platforms that you need, Amazon, Apple, any platform that you need to get his music, you'll find it on that link that we pinned. And I'm your host and producer, Ali Badawi. It is Friday the 20th of September, and we are streaming live from Kilimanjaro Studios outside Washington, D.C. Once again, remember to follow the OneMicShow on Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, and TikTok, and all other social media handles. And on panel with me tonight is Mr. OneMic Kamakawa. Sports anchor Mika Ot is joining us via Zoom. Our resident DJ Moshfa is already live on the decks. And not forgetting that our super producer is Mubelwa Wabandio. And I can see already people have logged in and tuned in. I can see Washeke is already in the building. Initially, we had some sound issues up on Apale, but I think all of that is sorted. And I can also see Mika in the building. And yeah, make sure you type in the comment section at followers, at everyone, at highlights, top fans, at highlight, whatever needs to happen. And please share our stream on your timeline so that other people can get in. So we're going to get started right away because we have a lot to cover tonight. Now, we know that 2024 has been a year of emotional distress for Kenyans across the world. An unprecedented uprising against bad governance led to bloodshed that left 60 people dead. The sound of Kenyan music, however, has provided comfort and a bright spot amidst a period punctuated by a lot of anxiety. Now, joining us tonight is Kenyan Afropop artist Charisma, who was at the epicenter of the recent Gen Z protests. Charisma, also known as Luya Hit and Mr. Sababisha, first rose to fame as a member of the group Le Band. Now, after gaining recognition, He went solo and started blending genres like hip-hop, afro-pop, and gospel to create a unique Kenyan sound. Now, Charisma has also been actively involved in the recent Gen Z uprising and has been vocal on his platforms on government actions against the youth. Now, he just released his album last month with Pomp and Color at Mass House in Nairobi, where it said that bras were raining all over the building. Charisma, aka Mr. Sababisha, karibu sana to the One Mic Show. How are you feeling tonight, Charisma? Can you hear us?
I'm great, yeah, I can hear you loud and clear.
Okay, how are you feeling tonight? Actually, tell us, what time is it where you currently are?
Okay, so sahi acha niambie ukweli nakuanga kwa club labda niko karibu kuzima sahi ni 3:20 am.
3:20 a.m.
Okay. Yeah, it's 3:20 a.m. in Nairobi right now. Inakuanga masaa niko karibu kubleki but niko hapa leo.
Okay. Yeah, we thank you so much. We thank you so much for taking time at this dead hour of the night when unafaa huko unasababisha lakini uko hapa na sisi.
Sitaki niwadanganya ati ningekuwa nimelala.
Okay, sawa. Now, before we get started, tell us about the experience during your album launch at Mass House, which we were seeing recently, because we heard that bras were raining on stage. What is that about? Charisma.
You guys heard right, man.
Na Sidirias.
Sindiria nazo zilikuja kukuja. The ladies were having a good time. So we did my concert at Mass House. It was just after the launch of my album. Yeah, I launched my album on the 9th of August, which is, I think, last month. We did the concert, I think, on the 23rd of August. So it was just 2 weeks. So we gave people 2 weeks to consume the album, and people loved the album. They really loved the album. So when even when we're choosing the location for the event, those doubts you normally have as a creative. Will we be able to sell out this show? Will we be able to have people on board? But it sold out the whole thing, man. Like, we were meant to have gate tickets for the event, but we couldn't have them because everything was done. Like, wasa walikuwa na DM wakiuliza manze naweza buy tiko manze wapi. Wasa walikuwa wanauza tickets za 15 zenye walibuy 1500 for 5k online on Twitter. So it was interesting. And then, of course, on the day of the show, we just had a lot of things going on. Tulikuwa ma theatrics. Ikafika point tu katikati ya ngoma fulani manze kuna ngoma naimba juu ya kutolewa sidiria na nazo sidiria zilitoka ndugu zanguni.
Okay. Na hiyo ngoma tukumbushe ni gani, because ngoma yenyewe haitwi sidiria.
Inaitwa Wivu.
Okay. Sawa. So if you want Wivu to be one of the songs played in the Hit or Miss segment, please ingia hapo katika comment section type in. But real quick, back to that venue, because Miss Jauna venue kama hiyo hapo in Kenya before. It was my and I was seeing it on YouTube, and I'm like, damn, this looks like Howard Theatre. I mean, of course, you're doing an amazing job on stage. Tuambie about your venue. Iko wapi? Like, what is the capacity? Because the place was packed. And from what you're saying, people were still... not everybody was able to get a ticket to go in there. Tell us about this venue, because Miss Jonah venue kama hiyo Kenya before.
Yeah, 100%. So the Mass House venue is, for those of you who might know, what was formerly the Winning Post. So the Winning Post was... it was a decent location. What the guys who have taken Mass House, the Mass House Entertainment, they've taken it up and just completely refurbished the place. Sorry, and it's guys who've studied in the UK, who've been in the States, who've just seen the entertainment culture all around the world, who tried to come and replicate it in Kenya. So in terms of like how they structured the stages and everything, they just did everything to make it seem like an international thing also. So the capacity for the place is about comfortably, I think, from 1,800 to 2,000, which is what essentially we were able to do in terms of like as a first event, because my event was the first event that ever happened there, or that's ever happened there. So that's essentially what it is. It's a really dope location. I think it's going to be an important location for Kenyan music and just the live scene in general, and even people who are going to be invited to attend to perform in Kenya. It's going to be a very important location for everyone who comes on board, because it's a location with proper stage. It has amazing screens. The space is insane. There's a VIP section at the top. So like it's a very dope space. I think people will love it. Yeah.
Okay. That is quite interesting. I mean, that's a place that I think any diasporan who's going back to Kenya this December needs to make a point of stopping by there. Yeah. So I wanna introduce the rest of the panel. We're gonna get to Mika shortly, who's on Zoom, but I'm gonna come here in the studio to anze hapa na DJ wetu DJ Omosh Fire, who was rogging us with your music. DJ Omosh, you've been sampling Charisma's music. The whole week we've all been doing that, and of course you've been listening to it from before. Just tell us, like what you think, what your experience was with his music from before we started sampling this week, from when you started listening to Charisma years back. DJ Omosh Fire, karibu sana.
Asante. Charisma, should I use your real? No, I won't use the real name. Maybe that can be a trivia question for somebody to win. But the creativity is on another level. Na kuna wimbo moja umenisikia nikipiga hapo hiyo wimbo yako na Mbizi. Yani the two of you guys, it's like, to me I'd say it's a match made in heaven musically, which is weird for two guys, together, because what one guy brings and the other guy brings, up on your pali, I'm stuck on that song. I think I did a mixtape with it. Remember that song I was just playing?
The mixtape that you sent, the one that I forced you to, the mix that I forced you to make.
Yes.
That I'm still waiting for another mix.
Boss.
Okay, sawa.
Season hivi tusiwaga tunasema nini?
You may attend. Okay, sorry.
Yes.
Sorry. Yes.
Tuko na mgeni bana.
Oh, sorry.
Oh, yes. So yes, pole boss. So but yes, the range, and then the other out of all of this, the question I would ask is, why don't we have people who have that type of range, pushing and just enjoying? Because this is like, your sound is sound for a live action band, sitting, having people, a drama, a guitarist, a chile backup, and maybe a loose trio mio rapping hapo kusukuma watu. It's like, why don't we have more of that in Kenya? But anyway, I digress. Karibu kwa show.
Asante sana bro, thank you so much, I really appreciate it.
Okay.
Asante sana. Na nimejibamba sana nikisikia ukicheza ngoma, niko nasema manze na bamba msana nichezea tu ngoma zangu, mix zangu, yani ngoma zangu zimefika state mbele yangu.
Okay, good one. Wacha tumsikie Mika. Mika, ebu ongea na Charisma hapa kidogo, anasema ngoma zake zimefika states mbele yake. Mika, twende kazi. As we try to get Mika on mute. Yes.
Wow, mazeni muongea.
Omera bwana, there was nothing.
Labda nilikuwa nimeingia hapa nimepiga Charisma flying kick yani. Wala bahati hata ile kwa mute. Lakini unajua kusema ngoma zake zimekuja states mbele yake ni kwa sababu yake. Anajua mbona anamwambia hivi.
Ni ukweli atangani
mbona ngoma zimefika mbele yake. But then the one thing that hata pia mimi nataka kusema is like I've known Charisma for a while, and I've known his artistic attributes and how his music has been. And wacha yeye mwenyewe apigie story ya mbona alifanya album and how it came to him to decide to do the album. But kitu moja niko na noma no emotion, my favorite Charisma song hujaicheza bad man. It's called Love. Na nilikutumia nikakwambia cheza hii ngoma.
But boss, there's a hit or miss segment. You put in your request like everybody else. Alafu unakuja na fujo, unajua tuko na guest, tuko na visitor,
tuko na mgeni.
Yes. Kuna vitu zingine unaongea chini ya maji bwana Omera.
Chini ya maji, chini ya curtain.
Yes.
Haya basi, chini ya curtain basi Ali. Wacha nirudishe Ali.
Okay. Haya, sawa. Asante sana Mika, tutakuja studio pia uno mic. Pia tumekuwa tukizisample hizi ngoma kuanzia the Motions, the recently launched album, and then the older songs zile za 4-5 years ago, ambazo bado tu ziko relevant leo. Talk to us about your experience sampling that music.
So my experience was interesting. So first let me say, Charisma, Luya Hit, Mr. Sabebisha comes from the great Prince of Wales, graduate.
Yes.
Apache?
Apache.
Yeah. So of course this guy was only Nigerian hapa. So
when your changes
Ali.
Acheni ni hurumie.
Ali,
Interview.
It's okay.
Yeah, but
Ali,
it's okay.
ulijua hii story Ali?
No, it's okay. Of course, alilenga. I was gonna say.
Interview staki.
Wow. Yani
Tunaweza kuchomea. Kwa mpole, tunaweza kuchomea hapa diaspora.
Nani? Wewe. Anyway, what is interesting, and we were talking of nilienda nikatafuta kwanza album, nikaona kuna album mbili, the one that he just released, and I think there was an LP, but you're gonna explain this because to me it looked like it was an album. Niligia po iTunes, inaonekana like there were 10 songs in the first one, and then the second one, alafu nilisikiza zote. Of course sauti, like a guy like msababishaji hivi, alafu ana sauti nyororo hivyo
azidonjo na sura. Azidonjo.
I don't know about all that, but it's like sauti iko, and then hata kichapa kapela unasema damn,
the vocal range. The vocal range, man. So it's not a lot of guys who have that.
And then so like usually it's like you'd hope to hear, like if you turn on one of these ukiwa Kenya, you're listening to muziki huko on radio online, utasikiza muziki, utasikiza sauti, utasikia utasikia Luya hit. But for some reason it's like I don't know what else needs to be done. Ali was saying, I think we need to condition like sheep. Watu wanaingia huko their request, the music is overflooding, but boss, the least we can do is give you the platform, not that you need it, but at least umesema muziki imefika mbele, so watu enjoy, watu people digest and consume something else in addition to what
100
kabisa. Now for the people who want Charisma's music, we've already pinned the link to get his music, all the platforms, whatever platform you're in, tumepin Facebook, tumepin Apple on YouTube, so you can get all his songs there. And we're going to start right now taking the songs you want played on the Hit or Miss segment. Your favorite song, type it in the comment. We'll be playing a limited number of songs, maybe like 5 songs. You come and DJ atakuwa
I don't know. Hata hiyo ya Mika, I don't think tutacheza.
Yes, so now yeah, please. Yeah, type ile ngoma unapenda.
Huna noma buda.
Yeah, type ile ngoma unapenda, and then our tallists, sijui kama Steven JJ yuko leo na washeke, please tally the songs watu wanaweka hapo, zile zitakuwa na the most votes ndo tutacheza at the end of the night. So drop comments hapo, let us know. Now back to you, Charisma. Kwa wale watu hapa diaspora, maybe they're seeing you, maybe wamesikia mziki yako waja kuona, just give us a brief background of yourself, kutoka kule ulizaliwa mpaka kule ulienda, just briefly, mpaka ile point ukafika ukajua ni mziki hapa ndo nataka kufanya. Twende kazi, Charisma.
Yeah, so music for me is an interesting thing. It's not something I ever thought I was gonna do, if I'm honest, because I was never a singer. Like sikuwahi fikiria ati ndakuwa kwa hii stage. So me grew up kwa nyumba very a staunch Christian home. So my dad is a pastor, and my mom is a teacher. So she's been in education like all her life, and she was a disciplinarian at some point. So like I grew up in a house where, let me tell you, even secular music, we never used to listen to secular music growing up. Tulikuwa tunasema hiyo ni tabia mbaya manzi, unajua, like my dad never allowed us to watch that stuff. So what we used to watch was tulikuwa tunasikizanga ngoma za sijui kina Ron Kenoli, kina Don Moen, kina Makoma. So that's the music I grew up to. So of course that primary, essentially, that's what I'm on. Then I went to high school, and I think in high school, in the Nairobi school, is when I learned a lot. That's why I figured myself out. That's why I learned like there's so much more in the world that the world has to offer, especially in terms of music. Because now, Japach mandeni shule kubwa literally, like it's not si ile tu ati ni jina kubwa, hiyo shule ni kubwa. So kuna house mingi, kuna wase wengi, kuna cultures so different, kuna wase wako exposed to vitu zenye uko exposed to. So it was so interesting for me, and what happened is like I go into the school, and now I'm getting to expose to, especially the first genre of music that I got exposed to that I had never interacted with in that kind of way was dancehall, man. And I loved it. I was in love with dancehall music. And then hip hop. and R&B. So R&B manze ilikuanga tu mziki nilikuanga nasikianga kwa tenje. Unajua ile mkiwa kwa mat na madam na karu unasikia ma sexy love, but yani hata uwezi ziimba unajifanya tu wewe hujaisikia hiyo kitakata. Sexy love ni wewe na watu wa kwenu nilikuwa najifanya yeah. So I think Nairobi school really exposed me to that music. And then the weird thing is I used to play rugby for Nairobi school. So I was part of the patch machine, and I was part of the rugby team for a very long time. For literally all my 4 years in school, and I started playing the main team I think when I was in Form 2. So it's something that I genuinely thought I was gonna be like really great at. So I finished high school, and job level. I say when I matches of rugby, you go and do tryouts at clubs. Now I remember the first day we went to Mwamba, so I'm going for the tryouts, and I saw this Monday, and I just knew I'm not gonna make it in this sport. Kwa tu wase unasema for sure hapa mi enyewe hakuna mahali penye naenda. Like wase walikuwa wanatoshana na mang'ombe majazi, ni ng'ombe for real. Msela ng'ombe hakuna waseni wapigi wameunga ni warefu. And I looked at myself and I was like, there's no way this body of mine will ever get to this level. Like there's nothing I can possibly do.
Scrum half.
To be, so yeah. And it was disheartening. You can imagine you're a young kid, you've grown up believing those 4 years in school, you're like, I'm gonna be a rugby player. And then you first get exposed to actual rugby players and realize, God damn it, ain't no space for me here.
But also remember you are growing though. Kimwili, you also growing though. So chances are you might have.
I think, listen, I made I look at myself now na bado.
Oh, bado, okay. Okay.
Yeah. Hata nikisimama nao wase bado wanakaa wamejengwa na matofali manze.
Yeah, unajua sports is interesting because with sports there was I can't remember his name, but there was an African American who was saying like however great you are in sports, especially like in a country like America, you could be so great in the high school that you're playing in, but your chances for making it to the major leagues, to NBA, NFL, or any of these major leagues is very, very minimal.
Yeah.
So he was encouraging parents to look at other fields, like academics and other talents, whereby, like the odds for making it are much higher than
and you have
than
like
sports.
almost a playing field because and even playing field because ni wewe school man.
Yes, kabisa.
There's that also.
But not just sports in weird because I'm saying, and I can imagine just being those guys who you love basketball and you wanna play basketball, and then you've invested all your life into the sport. Alafu grow up with 5'8", bro.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, it happens. It happens sometimes. So I think those are things that mentally you have to be ready for. But great.
Yeah.
Sasa now talk to us about the current music scene in Kenya. There was a time like sisi as diasporans tulikuwa tunakam and then you're going to venues. You're finding, like foreign music being played. You're finding Afrobeat, ama reggae, ama just music that's just not Kenyan. Piano was also becoming big. So where is the music scene currently for those who want to come back sasa hii December? Kuna wale ambao who come every year, kuna wale ambao who skip a year kama mimi and then go the other year. So what do we expect when we go home this December? How is it looking right now?
Kenyan music is back on the charts. It's so interesting. And what you guys are saying is so real. And I want to be honest, there's nothing more tough than being a musician and those kind of things. So for example, for me as a musician, it was very difficult to be at a time where every club, you go to clubs, because me I love partying, so I go to clubs every now and then, and the only music you're hearing was Niger music. It was literally just Afrobeat. That was very crazy for everyone in the industry. But I think right now the landscape has changed. And I'm gonna just shout out the Gengetone and Abanton artists. I think if there's artists who brought back the air to the ground in Kenya, it's been those guys especially. So of course you guys know what they're doing. They've put out bangers and bangers and bangers, and the bangers competed with the Nigerian music. So what it did is it brought back the airs to the ground, And so when the airs came back to the ground, I think just every other genre of music took advantage. Us guys for pop took advantage, the Afro-pop artists took advantage, the Benga guys, even the vernacular guys just took advantage. I think everyone just took advantage of the situation because people are now listening to Kenyan music more. So guys on the ground are like, yeah, Kenyan music is cool. So there's a lot more people listening to Kenyan music now. You go to clubs, you hear more Kenyan music than you do music from outside, which is really, really dope, which is something that I don't know if I could say, I don't know if it's something you could say 2 or 3 years ago. So I think we're progressing in the right direction. I think there's also a lot of symbiosis in the music industry at the moment. A lot of artists are working together.
Oh, great.
Just to make sure the art goes. You can even tell me the number of collaborations you see nowadays. You see a lot of top artists in the country right now working together. A lot of people in different genres, even cross genres, coming together just to try and put out amazing, amazing music. So I think the Kenyan music industry at this point in time is at a point where guys are just consuming it and people are loving it and people are hungry to share. Like the fans are sharing our music and they're consuming it like, you know, like it's the greatest thing. So yeah, it's an amazing place to be at. Like right now, it's a great time to be alive as a Kenyan musician.
Wow, let me come back to the studio because this is a discussion we've had for a very long time.
Yeah.
And of course, when those of us who are living abroad, whenever we go back home, na tunataka kufeel home, it gets very disappointing when a lot of places you go, not even necessarily just clubs, even restaurants, even just random places where you're going, you're hearing music that's not Kenyan. Because even Nigerians who've gone to Kenya are saying, you know, like they were shocked at the amount of Nigerian music that they were hearing in Kenya. So let me come back to studio up at DJ Omosh Fire. Where do you think, where are we in the diaspora? Because the Kenyan diaspora, we've also experienced these waves where people were Kenyan, and then watu wakadeviate kidogo at some point. Where do you feel we currently are?
There seems to be a wave, and the wave is, for a long time it had been Afrobeats, but it seems like a lot of people are now deviating to Amapiano.
Okay.
And like literally to the point where even the different genres of music are coming out with Amapiano versions of something.
Oh, yeah.
Right? So whatever it is that is, you know, even if it's a hip hop song or whatever it is,
even vernacular, by the way.
They're coming out with
I had a Luya song.
Yeah.
I had a Luya Amapiano track not long ago.
Yeah. Those things are many. So for me, I think here in the diaspora, it seems to be more heavily, at least with the Kenyans, they're heavily headed towards the Amapiano route, though Afrobeats bado iko hapo, and exposure to more Kenyan music, good Kenyan content from our Kenyan artists is going to allow those people who don't know to start moving in that direction. So I think basically it's not so much that our artists need to, you know, go the path of the popular music and make your music, you know, shape it into that. Just keep churning out good hits, good music, and it will speak for itself. That's basically what needs to happen. And as guys, as we've always pushed, we need to keep constantly pushing. I mean, I can't remember the last time when I played an Afrobeat song, to be honest.
Yeah.
I mean, if it's not Kenyan or East African, I don't play it.
Yeah, and absolutely, because the way, and this is not, we did not coin ourselves, former Balozi,
Ted.
Big Ted.
Oh, Big Ted, yes.
Yeah, he said we are Kenyan cultural ambassadors. You know, like that was not necessarily our goal, but this is someone from the outside who was telling us, because we're constantly talking about Kenyan issues every week. You know, we've been doing that for so many years.
Yeah.
So I think on the music side, I'm glad we've been able to stay firm even during those very distressful periods when people were demanding cheza ingoma ya kutoka huku, because I always say it's kind of like food, you know, like when you go to Kenya, si ati fufu ni mbaya, but when you go to Kenya you're looking for ugali, you know, you're looking for pilau, you're looking for nyama choma, you're not looking for fufu. So ukienda Kenya and then unapata ni fufu ndo inakuwa served, you're gonna be like, Allah, what's going on here? So musically, that's where we've been, and it's not only Afrobeat, it's been a lot of genres, you know, that have been taking over. Reggae especially, it's one of those genres that's very difficult to talk about, but it's also been very, very dominant within the culture. And of course, Kenyans are kind of international, so it is expected that we've had international exposure, so it is expected that people want to listen to other music. But when you have 80% of the music being that other music, then that becomes a problem. Uno Mike.
No, I was gonna say, I mean, for the longest time, we've always championed that we know that we've got good Kenyan music through and through. That one is not even up for debate, because sometimes Omosh will come here, he'll play for us some music and we're like, hey, who is that? But one thing that I realized that Ali pointed us out was that normally the bad music is the one that gets the most airtime.
Yes.
And then that bad music is the one that is now smeared as or posted as
Kenyan music.
as Kenyan music.
And then it's overshared.
It's overshared.
Yeah.
So by the time people are, like, hey, this is the only content, this is what Kenyan is producing or whatever, but like, no. But that is, they say the squeakiest wheel gets the grease.
Yeah.
So the bad crap is the one that gets airtime.
It's overshared. Yes.
Overshared.
And that's a problem.
And just to your point, maybe if I can add to your
Yes,
point.
yes.
And I don't mean to throw shade on anyone, but like, so I've always said, for example, the kind of hype someone like Steve Simple Boy has gotten in the Kenyan industry as a musician.
Jitayarisha for jabs. Carry on.
Yeah, I don't care, man. Like, it's just the truth.
Yeah.
People, like, you see, people used his music like as a way of trolling him and whatever, but the kind of PR he got just because it has the likes and everything was incredible. And then you find now the content that is great doesn't get that kind of PR. So, and I really like the point you've made, because I've always made that point. I'm like, why do we keep it's so interesting with Kenya. I don't know if it's the same all over the world or it's just Kenyans. Ile kitu mbaya sio sukuma na roho yetu yote kuonyesha watu vile hii industry tu ni mbaya. But when there's great, people don't, it's not the same tenacity in terms of when we're pushing that content. So it's normally very frustrating also when you're a creative and you see this kind of things, because now it becomes like the standard of Kenyan music is this thing. You see this thing that's bad.
Yes,
Kenyan music is bad juu ya hii.
Yes. So
they can't even we can't even produce good music. If we look at this crap, they're like, no.
Yeah.
You try to direct somebody, go listen. This out. So listen to this. Go listen to Luya.
So no, even some of the music that's being shared is parody music. It's not supposed to be music, but then it's being shared as music. And this is an issue because I also listen to a lot of different music. I listen to a lot of Tanzanian music too. Tanzania has bad music, but guess what? You will never see it. You will never see it because they don't share.
100%.
Because they don't share. They don't share. It's not like they don't have bad music. There's a guy called Hamorapa. I don't know the Shamona Hamorapa. It's a guy who tries to imitate Harmonize. The guy has, he does a lot of stuff.
I didn't think that guy was serious. He's actually a serious
There's a guy
artist.
called Hamorapa.
But then think about it. Angalia hata umjui. Angalia because Tanzanians are not sharing his music. If that guy was
He's been
Kenyan,
around for a while.
He's been around for a while. If
Yes.
that guy was a Kenyan, watu wangekuwa na share hiyo mziki yake like a nonsense. And then now people will share and then they'll be like, angalia vile hii mziki ni mbaya. And then when there's good music, I'll give an example of good music. When Nikita Kering was getting an award, that's when people are getting surprised at how come atumjui huyu ni nani? It's because when you share, what people don't understand in this new age is that when you share, it tells the algorithm that this is the music, that this is the video that people like, so it's gonna be recommended to other people. Yep. So the moment you share, the moment you like, the moment you comment, it adds on to that algorithm. So if we keep doing that for the good music that we have, kama hii mziki ya charisma, if we keep sharing, the algorithm will tell YouTube that this guy is the one people want to listen to. So hata mtu ambaye hajawai sikiza hiyo song, it will just pop up on their timeline, because most of the views actually come from recommendations. Unaona ngoma kama Anguka Nayo, because it was shared so much, even my mother, who does not listen to music, ilimfikia. Ilimfikia. And that's when you know that music has gone round. And for example, like the Tanzanians have mastered that art, and which is why you see a lot of their videos sometimes getting so many views. But then their people are also sharing. So that's something that I think we can go out and learn from them. share the good music. Ukiona mziki mbaya, we wache ishi hapo pali uliona. In fact, delete it.
Even in WhatsApp.
Yeah.
That's it's back to the same thing
just
of
don't even share
WhatsApp
it.
news network where you send stuff and then it becomes the truth according to
becomes the
WhatsApp.
truth, yeah,
And
like,
it's not true.
Yeah, like this is
ngoma mbaya ziusharia mpaka unaona WhatsApp inaandika forwarded many times.
That is very true.
That is true.
That is very true.
And it's when it's been forwarded so many times, at some point you even now you're not even disconnected. Now you make memes out of it or whatever. Then these persons are the ones who are getting gigs. These are the persons who are being called on to Churchill.
Yeah.
These are the persons who are.
Oh man, actually, listen, crazy stuff. So, you know what?
Trigger.
No, honestly, proper trigger. I was just, we're having a convo. So first of all, I'll say it's just, I understand, guys. You see Dubai, or when you go to the UAE, ikona wase wamesota na ikona places zinakaa mbaya, but hauonangi hizo stuff.
No.
They show you the great stuff. I was telling someone, it's crazy how that point is really dope, because you remember when what's his name, TID just started popping because of the crazy things he was doing online.
Yeah. That's right.
The dude was getting shows in Kenya, not in TZ.
Why are you passing around?
Yeah.
I hate you.
He got shows in Kenya and not in TZ. In TZ, guys were like, what the hell is this? It's jokes, great, fine, imesonga. Lakini Kenya tu limpea mashow. Nakumbuka manze alikuwa hapa kwa club, sitaki kutaja jina ya club, but alikuwa hapa kwa club manze anapiga show. Nasema yani kuna wasanii wa Kenya wana release music daily, wamekaa tu mtaani wakiona msee amefanya memes. Sasa unajua mimi uliza mnataka nini? The problem with the message is it makes an artist feel like ama na need kudu gimmicks kama hizi ndio kazi yangu isonge.
And then
Go ahead,
on that topic of sharing, just to add on to something that most people don't realize, is that as Ali said, when Nikita Kering won an award is when people knew it. Realized like, wait, these are Kenyan artists. So she has music, she sings music, right? I'll give another example. What's the name of this chick? The one who sang Mwaki.
Sofian
Zhao, right? Yeah, she's been in that EDM space for quite a long time.
For a long
and I can
time,
assure you, a lot of Kenyans didn't know her. But then the moment that Zab jumped on that track and that track went international, is when she got a lot of recognition. Now the thing is, most Kenyans will depend on that. We want to depend on somebody to come from outside to pull our artists, to bring them out so that we can celebrate them. But then the thing is, as you said, the sharing, the algorithm and everything, when you share your good music, when you sell out your good, when you post your music outside there and people know it, it brings interest. That is how Nigerians build their industry. Nigerian music in America wasn't played by American DJs or American radio presenters. It was them who brought it outside, who brought it to the American space and played it so much until it grew on other people. And that's the thing that most Kenyans need to do. And when you ask Vilomosha Mesoma, Kenyans will lean more to leaning more to a piano right now. It's because the people who curate this party, the people who organize this event, that's the music, those are the DJs that are playing and bringing it. People will consume more to bring out to them. Unfortunately, we do not think like that when it comes to our music.
Yeah.
Okay, so this is a very interesting conversation. This is one of those things that we hadn't planned for, but yeah, it is very important to talk about it for people to understand how the music gets discovered, because the unfortunate thing that's happening, you have even some good artists, because they're looking at what's happening and they're like, the algorithms like shock factor, because shock factor is what Kenyans are sharing. So you have some good musicians who are now starting to do shock factor stuff to get shared, and it's very unfortunate. What's her name? Washeke was talking about Mbaramba. I don't know. I'm just speaking for myself, but I don't know where the art in that music is. Maybe there's something I don't know. Maybe there's something I don't see. Maybe there's another kind of art that people understand. But I think that's problematic and it needs to be rectified. Now, back to you, Charisma. Tukirudi back to some older music. Kuna ngoma ilikuwa inaitwa Married Twice, and it had a theme of it was interesting because it had a theme of domestic violence, drug abuse, and so many other and so many other things that you were singing about. And this was a couple of years ago. So talk to us about this song and maybe what your thinking is whenever you're creating music like that. Charisma.
So one thing I'll say, I think I was in a different stage at that time. Manze nilikuanga form ya mapenzi manze. Hey.
You were whipped. You were whipped.
Hivyo sasa
Ngoja Ali, before tufikie hapo, si atuambie vile aliingia kwa ngoma.
No, alianza hapo, yeah. So atatuambia vile aliingia kwa ngoma because alikuwa shaanza pale mwanzo, but wacha kwanza tuambie juu ngoma and then maybe atatuambia vile aliingia kwa ngoma. Haya, twende Charisma.
Yeah, so hii song manze, hiyo time nilikuwa in love mbaya manze. Nilikuwa kafala manze. And the main thing about the song, so the main theme of the song was just being in a situation where you're in love mpaka like unajua manze vile commitment, miss jai get married, but na imagine wasame get married, go down on a knee na kuambia demu nataka kumwoa ni the ultimate commitment. So like umeifikiria, I'm just thinking as a man, yeah, you've thought about this thing once, twice, thrice, so many times. Decide, walai ni huyu, is this the person I'm gonna do life with, yeah? And so Mario Twice as a concept was just like, I'm so sure about you, about being with you. I'm not just doing, it's not just the first time. I'm not willing to go down on my knee once. I would go down on my knees once, not marambili. And then in terms of just storyline, what we did with the video, it was just to show the different love situations, a toxic relationship, and then a proper real love situation. And what we did with it is like we showed a violent person vis-a-vis a person who's just there for you and cares about you and is hyping you as the love interest. Like msetu ako there for you, na ataku hype, na ataku pop up, ataku prop up in every kind of way. And then the person you're with is doing the complete opposite. And the mission was always just to say like, there's always an amazing situation out there for everyone. Usikae kwa situations zimechapa just because you think, you know how toxic relationships are like you people don't like getting out of them, like mseo kwa mandani for some reason, but like just to show people that those nice situations are there and they're available to everyone at your given point in time, as long as you allow yourself to explore those kind of situations, I guess. So pretty much that's what we're trying to show with that video, and just show the ultimate expression of love and a pure love, you know. Even with the writing of the song, it was very pure, playful, and everything. So that's the direction we went with that song. Yeah.
Oh, okay. Na ilikuwa kama ngoma zako because you it was a couple of years ago. Hizo zilikuwa ngoma zako za kwanza.
Yeah. So as a solo artist, I would say it was amongst my first songs. Yeah. Was it? I think it was probably the third or fourth. Okay. Song I had to put out as a solo artist, yeah.
Okay, na before hapo ulikuwa kwa band. Your experience ya band ilikuwaje?
Ilikuwa kwa group.
Yeah.
Yeah, so vile niliwaambia story ya vile nilikuwa nacheza rugby na mambo ikaharibika tu yani.
Matofari zikaku change voice.
Mtu anaweza nigonga niue bana. So I remember, so we had a concert at Nairobi Baptist Church in Ngong Road, and I was the lead director. I used to be an actor, actually. So as an entertainer, I started out as an actor, and I was a good actor, I think. Yeah.
Were you acting in Korea in the dramas, those drama plays in Patch?
Yeah. Niliact drama, lakini kuna time nilisuspendiwa mara kadhaa, mwalimu drama akanifukuza.
Okay. Ni sawa alikufukuza because changes tulikuwa tukiwa crash drama like a problem. But anyway, hiyo ni story another day, tuendelee.
Wow. Ali.
Usijali haya. Last time hiyo hapo.
Msana kuja na mangumi manze. Anyway, tumetumana.
Tutakutana pale nje.
Utampata tu Ruta.
Pale nje.
Utampata tu
kwa stage.
Yeah, anyway, so as the lead director, and you know how young dudes are like, they don't like singing. You know how dudes watoi wanga zile za kuimba ni ya madem, vitu kama hizo. Yeah, so I had a lot of guys who had come to my drama department. Then one of my music directors came to me and they were like, Manze, none of these dudes want to sing and we need the baritones and the tenors and whatever. Because I know a lot of these kids look up to you. Just come and be there and just for a couple of days, just sing. They'll start coming because it'll feel like, okay, Fidel is doing it, if Kazuma is doing it, it's fine. We can.
So by this time, Fidel, hold on. By this time you are singing.
No, he's acting.
No, he's just acting. That's it.
Yeah, he was an acting director.
The reason nangwa niende kumotivate
Inspiration.
Hiyo tu. Aya, sawa. Carry on.
Mimi hata sijui kuimba.
Sini kanisa. He's inspiring the
I was one of those guys. I was so bad at singing. Ile design ya watu unajua how people sing together in church, mko congregation. Unasikia mtu anakuambia unaimba na nguvu, punguza sauti wewe. Wewe ni mbaya mpaka kwa congregation una sound.
Unaambiwa utulize. God damn. Okay,
Yeah. So this guys just pushed me to go and sing. So I start singing, of course, yeah. Nimeanza kuimba manze. I was like, if you tell people, someone come and motivate these kids by doing something, you'd assume they tell me sing to harmonies. This girl gives me a whole verse. I'm like, brother, first of all, this is not my thing. But then I'm just like, okay, fine. And then, unajua vile mademo anaweza ku guilt trip aniambia manze, unajua you need to do this thing, you can't let our department suffer. You're the head director.
Na hiyo ni kanisani. You're already being blackmailed in church.
Yeah.
Alafu ana blush ana flash to my eyes.
Ananifanya ile kitu manze. So nakumbuka alipatianga ngoma fulani ya Ditricado inaitwa Stand Still. Wacha niwaambie, unajua hizi ngoma za black gospel hizi kwanza vocals zinakuanganika. Sijui watu wanakuanga wametoa sauti wapi. Msee anaimba tu kila place sauti inaruka. So I was just like, what is this? So anyway, I did the song. I wasn't great, I'll be honest. I wasn't great. But someone said, you're not as bad. And there was some guys who were called singers of Christian songs. Walikuwa wanajiita Socks. Can you imagine?
Socks.
Yeah.
Singers of Christian songs.
Socks.
Okay. Interesting. Creative name.
Creative
name. Yeah.
Must be a Nigerian. Carry on, sorry.
Nimefala mbaya. But ni sawa manzi. Walikuwa wanatesa mademo walikuwa wanalove. Na I think ndio kitu kingine ile ni motivate. Sasa alikuwa anaimba manzi wasichana, dem nimekatia miaka 5 hajaye nisikiza. Umse anafanya tu dem ameenda nikasema hii ni talent itabidi nimeharness.
For church going people, I don't think this interview is going the right way. Endelea.
Watu wa church msijali manze. But unajua wasichana anyway, wacha niwaache. So literally, so I started practicing with those guys were Socks man. Then nikaanza tu kwenda tizi yao, and those are the guys who ended up forming the band together with me. Na tukadu group pamoja for a while. Tulikuwa na a proper, like I think the band is the thing that made me realize like I can't be a musician. Like I have the talent to be able to go through with it, because we put out a song. I remember in 2017, times are tough. I don't lie to you guys. I remember it was tough for a while. Like tulikuwa tumedu muziki for about 3 years. Manze hakuna kitu ina happen. Yani views ziko YouTube ni ya baba yangu, mamangu, baba ya my bandmates, mama zao and our brothers. Tuko na kaa 40 views. Ngoma imekaa 2 years iko na 100 views. Nasema hii kitu kuna place inaenda. Sasa niko law school, mama kwa tu zile za kai. So achana na hii kitu ya kunaimba tu, hakuna kitu inakusaidia. Wanna get and then in 2017 we put out a song. We put out number 1, and that song just blew up. Like it just absolutely blew up. And even now looking back, that's the song that made me believe like, yeah, I'm cut out for this. Like it made me, because I was almost at a breaking point. As zile as stuff is for work manze. The last time na try na ndamwa tu kwenda na law degree yangu nimalizane niachane na muziki. Nimejaribu, it was gonna be those things where you say, I tried it refused, it's not for me, bye. But number 1 happened and it validated everything we had been doing, and I've been on this path ever since.